A strange sighting caught on camera off the Arctic ice shelf has experts baffled. Its perfectly symmetrical rectangular shape is unlike most other icebergs. It's nearly unheard of for an iceberg to break apart in such straight lines. This stunning discovery is beyond creepy when you consider it could have been made by beings other than us. Some say it looks like the base to a structure that is no longer standing, or in an even scarier scenario, yet to be built. The fact that NASA is the organization that discovered this is a strong indication that it's something weird and bizarre. There's probably more to what's being caught on tape, but as with most things NASA is working on, we may never actually know the full story until decades later, if at all. A mysterious hole found in Antarctica has experts baffled as to what it all means for us in the future of the world. They have a name for the geographic anomaly, the Weddell Polynia, but that's about the extent of their knowledge regarding it. First discovered in the middle of the Weddell Sea in 1974, the hole was initially the size of Oregon, so you can only imagine what size it's grown to by now, but that's where you'd be surprised. The hole closed up shortly after its discovery by humans, leaving experts even more confused as to what it is and what was down there. Then, after 40 years of nothing, the Polynia opened up again in 2016, without reason, without warning. Such an odd phenomenon has the science community racing to figure out why the Earth keeps opening and closing at this one spot. A final report on November 11th, 2020 ultimately concludes that they still have no idea how or why this happens. A direct quote at the end of the study says, "What controls the initial openings is still unknown. People say something is down there that we're supposed to go in and find, or maybe something is supposed to come out and find us. I don't necessarily believe that myself, but anything that science can't explain has me at least a little worried. I could just be giving myself anxiety about things that can't be explained, but there's something beyond creepy about the whole thing, and I get a bad feeling when I see it. What do you think is down there, if anything?" Kelsey Davies goes exploring an eerie lake in the woods, a strange place that's claimed too many lives not to be haunted. People are getting trapped under the ice here and never coming back. She wants to communicate with their spirits to learn more. It isn't long until they've caught some bizarre paranormal activity on camera for us to analyze.
It doesn't look too deep, but you could totally get trapped under the ice, you know?
Near the lake, they encounter a revolting smell that makes Kelsey cover her nose. Evil spirits are said to sometimes secrete bad odors if they come nearby, which is why I think it's no coincidence when this happens next.
Oh,
That one.
A twig snaps underfoot,
oh.
and as they huddle close, all eyes looking in the direction where the lake is, a sweeping shadow passes in front of the camera, followed by scary sounds coming from the woods near the lake.
That sounded like a scream.
Yeah, in the distance.
Yeah.
Was this forest scream the same sound someone once made as they fell through the ice? A final surprise noise they are now doomed to repeat as a ghost, and as they strain their ears in the darkness, more ghost EVPs are caught on camera.
Oh.
I bet there's something.
Dude.
There's like laughing. You hear that?
Yeah.
Shortly after, they hear a voice whisper. The camera blurs like a ghost is standing between them.
Sounds like someone's up there. Did you want to just whisper?
Even though it's never had a problem focusing up until this point in the video, this keeps happening for a full minute and then stops. I'm guessing when the spirit finally walks away. As they go exploring the haunted lake, their paranormal sixth sense is confirmed by extremely bizarre camera malfunctions that are too strange to be a coincidence.
Do you want to try the necrophonic app over here?
Oh,
Whoa, my camera's like super blurry.
It smelled really bad with that.
Wait, what?
I had a whiff of something really bad.
Kelsey's camera goes out of focus at the same time her friend smells a rotting stench walk by, and when it goes away the camera comes back into focus on its own. Her friend isn't even looking at the camera, so there's no way she could have known to say that. When they discover a discarded pair of sandals nearby, it becomes a clear possibility that they are being led to the site of someone's demise.
Look. There's just flip-flops.
And as they get freaked out and walk back to their car, it seems as if the party of three has grown one larger.
Hopefully. What was that? Was that you? What the f was that?
What you are looking at are the only verified photographs of the Minnesota Iceman, a humanoid creature whose story blurs the lines between legend and reality. Some say the Minnesota Iceman encountered a stranger in the woods who successfully defended herself. Others say the creature was found in the ice of eastern Siberia and somehow smuggled to the States. An explorer named Frank Hansen comes forward in the 60s with this humanoid creature and an official explanation. He said he tracked the creature a while back camping in the woods, then he panicked because it looked like a person up close, so he eventually brought it home. It was winter and the ground was frozen solid, so he would have to wait until next season to bury it and move on. He and his wife didn't want anyone finding out about it, so they kept it in a large freezer for a month. When it started to stink, they filled the freezer with water and froze him into a big block of ice, hence the name Minnesota Iceman. Frank kept the horrible secret in his basement for years and never told anyone. Only he and his wife knew what they had done. He soon hit retirement age and began reading about local sightings of a strange humanoid in the woods that matched the description of what was in his freezer. Something covered in hair, too tall to be a person, but similar enough to be mistaken for one, and wildly aggressive. In December of 1968, he went public with his story, and a group of researchers went to investigate the frozen creature for themselves. The team, which included a doctor, made a specific report concluding what they'd found in the ice was not fake. Amongst other evidence, they confirmed a rotting stench had soaked into the walls of the freezer that was unmistakably human and could not be replicated by anything else. The science community demanded more evidence and asked Frank to provide hair and tissue samples. He refused. Not even an invitation from the Smithsonian Institute was enough to make him comply. The FBI became curious about stories of him storing something in a freezer for years, and they too demanded he give them hair and tissue samples of the Minnesota Iceman to analyze. When he refused, he became a suspect. That's when the Minnesota Iceman mysteriously disappeared. In the photographs, the creature holds a hand to its face as if protecting itself. Maybe Frank got rid of it because it was fake and he was about to get exposed as a fraud. Or maybe it was real and he was about to get convicted on serious charges by the FBI. As for the legitimacy of the photographs, they look creepy, but nothing a highly skilled special effects expert couldn't make if given the right resources. But if this stinks like someone who has been preserved for years like they say, then that would convince me it's real, since there's no way to convey that through a photo. This is simply not enough evidence for me to conclude if it's real or fake if I had to go by just looking at it, and especially from the FBI and respectable science organizations taking such a high level of interest, I'd say it could be real. The Minnesota Iceman was not seen again until 2013, when it was mysteriously put up for auction for $20,000 by an unknown seller. Nobody knows if this was the real one or not, but it is now supposedly on display at the Museum of the Weird in Texas. If the FBI has obtained DNA samples on the Iceman since resurfacing, the results have never been made public, and that alone should raise some suspicions. I've got a challenge for you. you. Since you've made it this far, why not like this video and hit subscribe in the next 5 seconds? Because I upload 4 new scary videos every week. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. Number 1. This unknown creature sighting found frozen in ice has gone viral over the years despite lacking a backstory, or at least one I was able to research. Some people say this creature sighting is a half deer, half man humanoid that got trapped under the ice before they could resurface. I think this is a Photoshop though, and I'll tell you why. When you look really closely at this picture, as many times as I have, you'll realize the face is actually a Photoshop Jason mask from Friday the 13th. You can just barely mark out the air holes beneath the nose, like a hockey mask ordinarily has. The hollow eyes are also exactly the same dimensions as a Jason mask. It's a good Photoshop for sure, one that has fooled many people for years, but without video evidence. I have to believe this is a Jason mask with deer antlers photoshopped over it. Let me know if you think that's what it is. I would be pretty proud if I was the only one who finally debunked this picture. It's been creeping me out for a long time. These scary videos come from the most frightening places in the world. Prepare yourself.